Hello there, welcome to my YouTube channel again, and thank you so much for the over 2,000 subscribers. We've done well, less than a year. Thank you so much. I super appreciate it, but we still need more people to subscribe to the YouTube channel. So if you're new here on this platform, please click that notification button and also share with people and subscribe ultimately. But welcome again. And today we're going to talk about something very important. I know, and I get reactions from people who say that, well, I answered my questions rightly, but I wasn't really fast with my answers. Some of them I was quite timid, I was shy to answer the questions well. Well, I can confidently tell you that maybe you didn't have the right eye contact. Yeah, it's very important, and that's what we will be discussing right here on my channel. Welcome on board. Well, generally, every individual who is having a conversation with someone, a friend, a family member, I mean, even a stranger, you would want to have that eye contact with the person because, it gives you that sort of connection with the person. It makes you believe and think that the person is paying attention to you, is listening to you attentively, amongst other things. So generally, eye contacts are very important. I mean, you can signal to the person the right connection, as I indicated earlier on. So it's the same thing when you go for interviews, whether it's for a job interview, whether it's any kind of interview, it's the same thing. So when you go for your visa interviews too, you got to have that eye contact on. But I know that it can be very frustrating, very intimidating, especially from where most of us come from. We're not used to it when you have to speak to people and look in their eyes directly. And answering questions at the same time, so it's a little bit challenging, but it's one thing you've got to work on. And I'm just going to use myself as an example for you, because I went through the process. I had to have that eye contact because it was something I had watched on YouTube. I had listened to people talk about it, and most people outside our jurisdiction like to have that eye contact, especially when you're having your visa interview. So it was something that I had to work on. So let me just run you through it. When you get to the interviewer or the consular, obviously the person is going to ask you how you're faring, if they want to exchange that pleasantries with you in the first place. If not, they move on to the right thing or the straight thing, and they ask you, why are you traveling to the States, or why are you traveling to wherever you want to go to? And remember that they have the details, that they have your information there already. Remember that you put all of that in your DS-160 or DS-220, 260, I beg your pardon. Any form that you filled online before you went for that interview, they have that information there, and you always see them on something like a screen or a laptop or a computer. Yes, they have that information, so they're just referencing that, but they still want to ask you and be sure of the things that you wrote and whether or not you genuinely qualify for the visa that you're asking them to give you. So they would be asking you, they'll be looking at the computer, they would also be looking at you at some point. This is what I did, right? I knew I had to look at the person's face. I had to look directly into the eye of the person. So I looked directly in the eye of the person, but I focused in my head or in my mind on the things that I was saying. So I was processing my thoughts, because once you asked the question and you're looking at the person and you're not thinking quickly on your feet, thinking right, you might answer the questions wrongly. So I didn't want to forget my answers. I didn't want to fumble with my answers. So the best thing I could do was to look in the eye of the person. Yes, I did, but I was also paying attention to the things that I was saying. So let's assume I've been asked, why are you traveling to the US? And I say I have a program there. So if that's what I want to communicate to the person, and you are the interviewer, I'm looking at you, right? And I'm saying, yeah, so I'm traveling to the US to go and partake in so and so event, which is happening between this period and this period. Well, I'm looking at you, but honestly speaking, I am thinking with my eye. We have that brain eye inside of us every time when you're answering questions like in an interview, whether formal or informal one. So I was doing that. I was looking at the person, but I was honestly not looking at the person because I was thinking in my head, you get it. But once you move away, you shift your focus from the person, they tend to ask themselves questions that, is the person really genuine? Is the person really telling me the honest truth, or is the person lying? So then they want to probe further. So it is one difficult thing, but you've got to do it. That's why I'm saying that it is intimidating. But even as you prepare for your interviews, stand in the mirror, talk to your friends, have a friend interview you even prior to your interview itself, and try and talk to the person, looking at the person's eyes like directly, but use my strategy, and I think it's going to work for you. That's what I did. But that comes also with you being very confident in whatever you're going to say there. Remember that every information you put in, if you did not fill it yourself, you had a third party to help you out with the filling of the application, well, no problem, but you need to have everything tops of your mind so that you are sure you're confident about it. And it should be your information. Obviously, it's your information. Nothing to hide from them. Is the right thing that you've put in already. So you know the information at the back of your head. So you don't necessarily need to think so much. And you know, as we always say, we need to prepare, because if you don't prepare, no matter how excellent or smart you are, you might fumble, because it's an interview. You see a lot of people, some being denied their visas, very few people being approved of their visas, so it can get intimidating in the hall there. But as I told you, think with your mind eye, but look at the person directly, and also make sure that you know everything that you've put in there already. So if it's your information, there's nothing that is going to escape you. I mean, it shouldn't be something difficult. It's like asking me, how old am I, where do I stay, where do I live, so you know, these are basic information about me. So I don't need to think or even waste like 2 to 3 seconds to think about it. I'll be able to speak directly to you. But it's the eye contact that's the problem. But as I've told you, look directly, try and look directly, so you can prepare ahead of that. Once you get your interview date and you know that I'm going for this interview maybe in the next 1 month time, what you need to do is to start hit the ground running. Start preparing your answers. Very basic questions that I've already answered some of them in one of my videos. You can go back to it. It appears almost all the time. You know that this is going to be asked to you, so you can work on being very confident, because if you're not confident and you even have the right answers, you might fail. Yeah, that's true, because you're scared to speak. You don't know whether you're sounding right. You don't know whether the person is even hearing you well, and you need to articulate, and that all comes with you being very confident. So I know it's a tough thing to do, but you've got to do it. You have to get your groove on. Rehearse so much that when you're asleep and someone wakes you up, you can answer the person directly. Okay, I hope this has been a fruitful engagement. It is going to go a long way to help you. You need to have that eye contact. It is so important. And also, it makes you very confident when you're speaking to someone. You can even be lying. I mean, we know people in our schools, in our churches, or in our communities that you can tell that what they're saying, it's wrong. It's a wrong answer. But you know, the confidence with which they come with makes you want to listen to them. It is the same thing you need to do when you go for your visa interview. So I wish you all the best, and as I said, please do subscribe to this channel. I'm going to come back with one episode that I'm sure is going to excite a lot of you, because I've had people ask me, how did your interview go? How many questions were you asked? How long did you spend in the interview hall? I'm going to be explaining and telling you vividly what happened there in my next episode. Do stay tuned.